Your competition isn't who you think it is, y'all. It's not. In fact, I'm hearing from a lot of real estate professionals and mortgage professionals right now, which means it's also the rest of y'all in sales who are nervous about the amount of competition that they have. Now, if you're early in your real estate career, you're going to think it's other agents. In fact, we all went through that space at the beginning of our license days of thinking other agents were the enemy because it's so cutthroat and competitive. And it's still really competitive, and it might be cutthroat, but those other agents, they're not your competition. And some of y'all say, no, it's not other realtors, Leigh Brown. I like them very well. It is the online portals. I can't stand the one that starts with a Z and the R and the H and the rest of them, and they're trying to kill us all. They're not your competition either. They provide a different thing than you're trying to provide. But do you even really know what it is you're trying to sell and convey, friends? Well, and then some of y'all feel like your competition is AI. You can't stand it. You think it's of the devil. Amen. Preach to that. But AI is not your competition either. In fact, the reason you think all of those things are in your way is because you're having a hard time looking internally. Your main competition is you. And you know this. You know what gets in the way of most good salespeople? It is bad habits. Your bad habits are not your friend. In fact, Jimmy Buffett sings a song called The Bank of Bad Habits, and he was right on. Rest in peace, Jimmy. And the bank of bad habits includes the following: procrastinating. I'm guilty of it too. You might call it distraction, but let's just be honest. If you wanted to get it done, you would have. You would not be so distracted. You are procrastinating. You don't want to do hard things. Now, why don't you want to do it? I know, because y'all are a bunch of love bugs and you've got a passive-aggressive nature that's non-confrontational, so you don't want to call anybody to do the prospecting that's necessary to survive in sales because you think somebody's going to reject you. Well, pumpkin, this is the beauty of the online world. When they see that little phone call come up on that device, they've got two options: decline and accept. And most of the time, if they don't want to talk to you, they're going to hit decline. Maybe, just maybe, you should get out of your own way and realize that calling people is not so bad. I got a whole video about it over here. Go get your nerve back and call somebody. And by the way, start with your best friend or your mama or somebody that really enjoys talking to you, because they will say, hey, how are you? And then you'll realize the fear was all in here. By the way, that undergirds the primary thing we sell in real estate and in mortgage and in any kind of sales. We're selling what somebody else wants. And we don't know why they want it, but we know how they can get there. So why not call them and find out why they want it? And by the way, that's why AI can't get in your way unless you allow it to. I have yet to get a good answer out of Chat GPT, although I have tried a few times. It's wrong half the time, and the other half of the time it's almost right. None of those are as accurate as me, a local who has lived in the same county where I sell real estate since God created the United States of America. I know things. I know which builders are reputable and which ones look good on paper, but there's no substance underneath. I know what's going on with water and sewer. I know what's going on with the DOT. And in fact, some of the reason y'all think those competition spaces are hurting you is because you didn't do the research yourself. And that's another thing in your bank of bad habits, is your lack of curiosity. Get more curious. If you want to know what's going on with your county commission, go to the meetings. And for those of y'all that don't want to go because you feel icky after you go to one, I feel you. Watch it on the YouTube and see what's going on down there, because knowledge will help you overcome that fear of not knowing as much as AI knows. You know more than you think. I guarantee that if I called you wherever you are wanting to buy what you have to sell, you would start rattling off great information that you forgot you possessed. So get out of that bad habit there of not thinking you are qualified, because most of you are. And if you're not that qualified, you can go get the information. If you think, but Leigh Brown, I'll never know as much as you, well, that's fair, because I know a lot. I grew up with a dad in real estate. I've been around here for a long time. But you know what? If you call me, ask me a question, I will answer it for you, because I know that an attitude of abundance takes you much further. AI does not have an attitude of abundance. In fact, it's overly abundant with information that may or may not be relevant. So why not think about yourself as the person who's relevant and timely, because we know that AI is not very timely. We also know that it's not good at human interaction. It does not know how to read eye contact. It does not know how to look at body language or hear when somebody's voice gets choked up. You can. That's what means AI can't really compete with you unless you keep feeding it. Frankly, stop feeding that monster. Now, how about the online portals? Well, in our bank of bad habits, we are not customer friendly. You know this. It's difficult to get you on the phone because you were afraid to answer it because you didn't know the phone number and thought it was a spam call. That's a terrible habit, not answering your phone when you're in a relationship business. And then you're thinking, well, my website's not as good as theirs. Okay, it's probably not going to be. They have bazillions of venture capital hedge fund dollars that you don't have access to. You need to let go of that and realize your website is mainly an online business card so that somebody can look you up and figure out if you are in this for the long haul or if you are a fly-by-night, flash-in-the-pan person. You know how I can tell you're a fly-by-night, flash-in-the-pan? Your email ends in @Gmail, @Yahoo, and God love it, @AOL. At least commit enough to get a real domain behind your real estate business or your mortgage business, friends. And no slam on the free accounts, but you can't also tell me you wish you had privacy and give everything up to the portals. Come on now. So look at those websites. If you want to overcome this piece of the bank of bad habits, which is understanding that you need to be more customer friendly, go online, look for your own house on all those portals, and you'll realize why consumers like those websites. They're very intuitive, very easy to cruise around and get bits of information. You're not going to get the whole picture there, but you'll get some bits. This is why real estate has been so hard to interrupt with the internet. And it's why mortgage is also hard to interrupt. It's because these look like commodity purchases. A house looks like a commoditized item because it is a tangible asset. But there's a piece that is not commoditizable, and that's the emotion involved in real estate, which is why you, who are not AI, not a portal, and not every other agent in town, you have your own specific relationships. You're the one that knows how to talk to people and help them understand the pros and cons. And sometimes that means, yes, you should buy what I'm selling, and sometimes you say, no, you should not. You should hold tight. There are these moments that we get to be the best possible version of ourselves, because if we're great salespeople, we get somebody else what they want, even if it means we have to put ourselves on the back burner and wait just a little while longer until they become an actual client. These are all the things you have to think about. Now, also in that bank of bad habits is one more I need you to get over, and that is the fear of rejection. Because think about this. Once upon a time, you were young. You didn't have crow's feet and bags under your eyes. You did not have to color your hair with bottle blonde to hide all the grays like I do. You did not have to wear specific bras from Soma to fight the effects of gravity. Spoiler alert, I know the perfect model. Message me or comment below if you need it. And so back in those early young salad days, I dated some fellas. I'm so glad that they rejected me and I rejected them, because rejection leads you to a better possible outcome, which is why I'm about to celebrate another wedding anniversary with my first husband, and he hates that joke, but it's a very good one. Rejection gets you along the pipeline. What we say in sales is you have to get through a lot of no's to get to a yes. On the dating side, we say you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. It's the same thing that gets in your way of prospecting. You're so afraid of rejection, you forgot that the rejection just gets you one step closer to a yes. And how do you get the yes? By being you, being likable, being engaging, being genuine. Those are your secret weapons, my friend. And when you embrace them, nothing can get in your way, because you'll have put that biggest competitor, this one, on the back burner yourself. Now, tell me what scares you. Tell me in the comments. Tell me what I'm right about. Tell me what toe I stepped on. And then come visit me for some coaching, because I will help you walk through all of these things and more, because nobody ever told you you had to do this all alone.